Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm actually home for Thanksgiving this weekend and I'm really trying to film as many videos as I can, so if you see the same outfit, that's why. Today I'm going to be doing the Winter Wonderland book tag. It's technically not winter yet, but where I live, it's basically 20 degrees Fahrenheit every day, and it already snowed, so who cares about the winter solstice? The first question is, what book is so happy and so sweet that it warms your heart? For this, I have Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. By the way, I'm really proud of myself. I actually took out the physical books this time. Pride and Prejudice is a classic novel set around 1800s England, and it follows the Bennet family, the main character named Lizzie Bennet. Lizzie Bennet's mom really wants her daughters to get married, and when a rich boy moves into their neighborhood, things start getting interesting. This rich boy has a friend named Mr. Darcy, yes, the infamous Mr. Darcy, and Lizzie and him don't get off on quite the best terms. Obviously from the title you can tell this book deals with pride and prejudice, and multiple characters throughout the story realize that they are too proud and some have to let go of some of their prejudices. I remember the first time I read this, I was in 7th grade and I was really trying to read more classics and get exposed to more literature. This was also after watching the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, so I had already loved the story. Obviously Lizzie Bennet Diaries was a contemporary adaptation, whereas this was the original source material. I remember I didn't own a physical copy at the time. I found an audiobook on YouTube and I would listen to it every once in a while, but I think it was abridged because I remember just not understanding why everyone liked Mr. Darcy or why everyone liked this book, because it felt like I couldn't understand what was happening or how we got from point A to point B. I remember liking it just because I knew I liked the story in general because of Lizzie Bennet Diaries, but I remember not having the greatest experience with the actual novel. That is, however, until this past summer where I decided I was going to reread it, and I also listened to an audiobook, but this time on Scribd, so it was the unabridged audiobook, and boy oh boy was this such a sweet book. Oh my god, it is so cute. What makes this book cute is exactly what I said I didn't understand before, is why do people like Mr. Darcy? It didn't seem like he changed at all from the pompous jerk that we initially see him as. But this book really relishes in the subtleties of characters. You really see these small details that make such a huge difference in how we perceive the characters and how they interact. I also really loved the 2005 movie. Oh my god, what an aesthetic. This is what I hold as the gold standard for a hate-to-love relationship, because it really shows that the development from hate to love is very slow, it's very gradual. Both characters have to learn, have to understand each other, and have to talk to one another, and I really like it. The next question is, what is your favorite book with a white cover? This was super easy for me, and I chose Mistborn: The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is the UK cover, actually. The other covers aren't terrible. I just don't like having people on the cover, and also always go for illustrations over anything else. This cover is so beautiful, and I love the fact that it's all black and white except for this pop of blue. I love the fact that you can see the city landscape. I think it's just a universally accepted thing that this is beautiful. This was my first order from the book depository because I wanted physical copies, but I knew I was not going to invest in anything other than these covers. It took 3 weeks for them to arrive, but you know, it's fine. The next question is, you're sitting on a warm, lovely couch, wearing a onesie, drinking some warm hot chocolate, but what monster of a book are you reading? This was actually very accurate to what I was doing this weekend, and it is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I bought this very recently, and it was because of all the hype around Muse of Nightmares. This is actually the perfect time for me to pick up this book, because Laini Taylor's writing is just, the best word to describe it is magical. It is so beautiful. My first experience with Laini Taylor was with her Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. I read the first 2 novels. This was a long time ago, 5-6 years ago. I remember I really enjoyed it, but when I got to the second book, I just could not get into the writing style. It was almost too flowery for me, that I just could not pay attention to what was going on. But granted, I was in 7th grade, so I probably wasn't trying very hard. But now, hopefully, my reading capacity has grown and matured, and I'm really enjoying this novel. It's such a warm feeling inside. It's so ethereal almost. And it also is very much a monster. Actually, I don't really know. It's around 530 pages. You know, in the past I wouldn't consider that a monster, but it looks really big. I don't know. Question number 4 is, it started snowing outside and you decide to have a snowball fight. Which character would you want to have a snowball fight with? So I was a little confused on how to interpret this question. I wasn't sure if this was saying that you don't like the characters, you'd want to fight them, or if you wanted to have a snowball fight because you wanted to have fun. I went with the latter one because why not have positivity? I chose not just one character, but the entire crew from Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. In retrospect, this is probably a bad idea because I would get severely pummeled and crushed and destroyed in every capacity, but I love this crew, and I feel like even if I went down, it would be an honor to go down by their conniving hands. Like, I feel like they would actually just, like, come up with the smartest way to take me down. Me, like, an unskilled and very fearful girl who doesn't have a lot of confidence in my athletic ability. Or they could go the other way around and, like, some of them can team up with me and I can learn their ways and like how to outsmart the system. Yeah, I feel like that would work out. If it was like in teams, well, it'd have to be on teams. They couldn't all be against me. That's unfair. I'd hope I get paired with a Nej because I feel like she's the nicest. Or Nina. Nina would be nice to me. Maybe not actually. I don't know. I'd probably want to be on Kaz's team too because I wouldn't want to be on the other side of Kaz. And him and a Nej would probably be on the same team, so like it'll all work out in the end. Question number 5 is, sadly your fire is beginning to go out. What last few chapters of a book would you throw into the fire? This one was very easy for me and is The Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan. As a disclaimer, I love Percy Jackson and I love Heroes of Olympus. I love Rick Riordan. But I don't love this book. It's not terrible by any means. It has a lot of good content. A lot of the stuff that happened I really enjoyed, but just, it wasn't enough. This book needed to be at least 100 pages longer. The last few chapters just wrapped everything up so quickly and we didn't get any time to really conclude and like finish off everything that the series has been leading up to. And so I would just, take away the last few chapters and have Rick keep what happened, but just like write more. This sounds kind of bad, but I low-key want to throw the whole book in the fire so that he can rewrite it with different perspectives. Come on, we needed a Percy chapter. We did not go through 4 books of the 7 heroes to not have this last book have all 7 perspectives. You did it in Mark of Athena. I don't know why you couldn't do it here. That was a little harsh. I really did not hate this book that much. Honestly, I didn't hate it at all. I just was disappointed because it didn't have the same impact that the last Olympian, like the last book in the Percy Jackson the Olympian series had for me. And like I wanted that and I knew he could achieve it, so like I felt a little disappointed that it didn't happen again. I want more conclusion and more time spent saying goodbye. That's all I want. Okay, rant over. Lastly, what book is so close to your heart that you would gift to someone this Christmas who hasn't read before but really wants to get into reading? I'm keeping it really basic for this answer, and I chose either Harry Potter, which is a very obvious answer, or The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. The reason why I'm not holding up Harry Potter is because it's in a box set that is literally takes all of my strength to get it out of the box, so I'm not touching it. These books are my favorite series of all time. They hold such an important part of my heart, both for my reading life and just in general. I don't think a day goes by that I don't think of one of these stories. They're just so close to my heart. They got me into reading, and I think they can get anybody into reading. That being said, not everyone likes fantasy, and no matter how much I throw at them, they're not gonna like it. So for those people, I would recommend them The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Again, a really classic YA booktube book. The Hunger Games was also a very foundational book for me. I actually read it before I read Percy Jackson, and I remember absolutely loving it. Some of my best memories come from talking to my friends about waiting for the news about the movie, and I remember the day that Jennifer Lawrence was casted. I remember where I was, who I was talking to. I remember when Josh Hutcherson and Liam Hemsworth were casted. Like, it was a huge part of my life. And even beside that, like, the older I get and the more I think about this book, the more amazed I am at how eloquently Suzanne Collins portrayed the manipulation and the political instability and conflict that comes with such a war-driven time and such internal conflict within a country. I know a lot of times, especially with the movie, that people get bogged down by the romance with Team Peeta versus Team Gale, but there is so much more to this story. And because it is rooted in more contemporary values and historical perspectives, I think it can reach a wider audience. So that's all 6 questions. I had a lot of fun with this tag. I've been really liking to do tags lately because it's a really cool outlet to just show people my tastes and my perspectives quiz and also like my reading history. I don't have anyone specifically to tag. If you want to do it, please feel free to do it. Let this serve as a tag for you. Tag. And I hope you all have a wonderful winter, and I'll see you next time. Bye.